Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Lego The Lord of the Rings, and with any luck this will be our last episode we have to do here. So, I was having trouble getting the last collectible gold chest for the secret stairs level. It's during this chase in which you're getting chased by the spider with the bright Lego legs, which that really doesn't fit into Lego games very well. It's too kid-like. Anyways, in this chase you have to go right, then left, then right, almost immediately to run into these little green, round, bulbous things that's right in front of us on the right side of the screen. And you have to do all three of those, and then you get the item. So there, I got it. And then the level's over. So, skip that cutscene. Now, I played that level twice, once on screen, once off, and that was actually my third attempt. But it did allow me to grind, and now we will probably be over the 10 billion. So, there's no achievement here so far that looks like I'm not gonna get. Looks like I'm gonna fulfill everything. This right here, just doing that, potentially would have put me close to 10 billion. We have 2 more levels that we need to do, and one we just kind of need to rush through, and one we need to play all the way through. We need to play Cirith Ungol completely through because we don't have all the objects or any of the objects or that. We need to do Mount Doom, which is just missing 2 collectibles, so may not take us but a couple of minutes, well, relatively a short amount of time at least, to do Mount Doom. Let's see, I also need the mithril object. So what it was, as I'm just gonna kind of run through this, try to avoid it, is I think we've got one collectible that I know where it is and one that I'm not so certain about. What's in here? Come on, there has to be something in here, doesn't there? Really? I must have played this level in free-play before. Well, remember that. Maybe I did. It's very strange that that cave is... trying very fast to get through this pretty quickly. I don't want this last episode to be terrible. All for my part of the effort, at least. Which is to say, I don't want the reason why this last part is terrible is because of something I do. This game has been, I will use the pun again, quite the unexpected journey of pain. There was some really interesting stuff here. I think the item wheel is a cool idea, and it works well for the character wheel too. I think, however, the way it's implemented and the fact that these treasure items down here are so many extra things, it's a little weird. I don't know how you fix that really, but it's just inherently in a game. When you have this number of characters and then this number of characters, it's not a quick access wheel anymore. When you have this number of default items, then this number on top of it, it's not quicker. It becomes then, so in later Lego games we see this because they opt to just turn it into Y. Holding down Y would bring up this menu by default and just ignore the rest. Also, unlocking characters in, for example, Lego Marvel Adventures is a good example of one of the games that does it well. It's like you unlock the ability to purchase them, and then you just purchase them on the screen, and there's a ton of them in the game. So no reason for you needing to run around the world to purchase them. Although maybe in Lego Marvel Adventures you still end up having to run around the world you might actually want to find them. This. Then switch to Berserker like this. Then switch to Sam. See, the two collectibles are right here in this upper level, but the opportunity to get to this upper level, I think I didn't take it last time. Yeah. Quite simply, it's just I take this, jump over here, we got that. That's the last mithril design we ever need to take. We need somebody like Aragorn to break this, to get this, there, and here's hoping that that's it for this section. So I'm not seeing it pointed, so I bet the last one has to do with the final section, which is an escape, where you have to jump up in the middle and get it. So we might have a bit of a problem if this takes too long. Do I have all the items? Yes. So I don't have to worry about that. I missed the one collectible that I really would have preferred not to have missed. Notice we're at 200 million. I haven't been trying at all to get studs here. We shouldn't really need it. I think it was like we can actually look. I'll just pause. Oh, tell me. Interesting. I think I was about 400 million away from 10 billion, which was the one achievement that felt like it was asking a little too much, and it was, considering how empty this game is. This game is just so empty at this part of the level. You will have the worst experience of your Lego game playing life if you just go through the story. The story is empty too, by the way. It's all just dialogue cut from the movies, and it's like hand-picked dialogue, so it's obviously not the 9 hours of the movie. If they were going to do that and just take out the video game elements, they would have probably had a better product here. Because I am stuck. Don't tell me I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I am stuck. I am so stuck. Let's turn off a couple things. This is where invincibility and regenerate hearts might. Like, sometimes you can push yourself towards something and start going red and break. I didn't save or continue either. Tap an X here, and it's not working. This didn't work before either. It's irritating section of game. It's a great example of bugs, and there's so many bugs in this game considering how so much stuff is just missing. I'm tapping X like crazy here. Am I supposed to be tapping B instead? Am I supposed to hold X? Like, my controller is vibrating. Am I supposed to move? There's no movement. I cannot hit anything. There's no other extras here. How can the game be so messed up? And this is the second time we've seen it. Alright, so save and quit. Save and exit. Well, 100 million away. Let's got one more piece. We got the final blacksmith design. So, with all the design, do we have access to those last two characters? Not that I'm seeing. I don't feel like... I do have some stuff that I still need to turn in too. I'm looking all around the map just real quick to see if maybe there's a couple of characters that would be available for purchase. I don't think that's how it's gonna work. We just gotta go right back into it. Second time's the charm, otherwise I'm gonna skip to the next section and just get it off screen. It's so ridiculous. I am a little critical, probably more critical. I have been really critical, more critical than I should have been, of J.R. Tolkien's original story. I think maybe they tried to put some control, the family, the inheritors of the story, into it, so that they couldn't write into this game elements that would have made it a better game. There's lots of levels here where you are just not attacked by anything, because I feel like in the story you weren't attacked by anything. Seems like. And that's just doesn't make for a good game. It really does not make it good for a good game to spend significant portions of mini levels and not fighting creatures or doing some main gameplay mechanics. I've certainly played games like Gone Home where there's no real interaction with characters at all, and that's something you could do a few times, but for a standard Lego game where it's made for kids and kids want to run around and punch the enemies, that content is amazingly light here. Like, look at this level. You run into nobody in this level. Not a single person. Until you run into Gollum at the end. That's all you... Fortunately, I can just run into it. I'm gonna come over here and save and continue just in case. I'm gonna try to control my movements as well as possible. And I'm going to only hit Y starting from this point when it prompts me to, because in 2 places we've had issues with that. I've never had these issues in any other LEGO game to this extent. Maybe in a couple of them there have been a few buggy spots, but I've never had that 1 or 2 buggy spots turn into the entire experience of the game. I think this game would have worked. I'm not being prompted to hit Y, so I can't follow through with that determination. If your kid has read The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, well, The Lord of the Rings, let's just ignore The Hobbit as part of the statement. I don't think they would enjoy this. If they haven't read The Lord of the Rings, I don't think they would have gotten the majority of the story from this, and I don't think they would be interested in reading the book. Okay, so here, and then here, build that. And there was an item right behind that, but we already got it. Yeah, and it works perfectly fine there. The game is just buggy. It's unacceptably buggy. Unacceptably short. The only thing that makes this game even as long as it's been is because I've been going through just a nightmare of having to go through the levels multiple times to find unintuitive and hard to find collectibles. There's no red detector brick for objects, only the gold chests. There's no red detector for mithril designs. So you're talking 3 or 4 times. There's no numbered order of the levels for a story that's so linear, it's ridiculous. The prologue on the map is in Mordor all the way to the right, and then all the other levels sort of start at the left and move to the right, but in a strange zigzag way. The levels are never numbered, even when you select them and start them. There's general things about Lord of the Rings I don't understand. I don't know who Sauron was. I don't know if the eye of Sauron, the mouth of Sauron, Sauron himself. I don't know how any of that works. I'm not sure the story ever explained that. You got no characterizations with these characters that you would have probably gotten from the stories in the movies. Let's go ahead and skip this. So now we're at this run, and I need to jump. That's it. So we'll go through this section. We're not gonna die. Here. So this will be over the 10 billion mark. I really don't like Frodo. I don't see why he is the best character of all the characters to be the main character. I don't see where he really did anything. It feels like Sam did everything.
Yes, Mr. Frodo.
Let's skip that. So now we only have one more level to get some objects in, and then we'll turn in all the quests, and then we'll be at 100%. And hopefully that's going to unlock the last two characters. Generally speaking, there's some stuff with Lego games I'd still like to see improved upon. I'd like to see more Lego games. I'd like to see the Lego Dimensions integration be worked on in some way. They've got that power pad in that game, portal power, whatever it's called. Yeah, we need to do this level now. Every collectible is missing here. So I would think ideally from going forward, and I don't believe this is the case, I think every single minifigure that you get in any Lego set should work with the portal power and be something good. Okay. That was weird. I don't think that was supposed to work that way. So there's these skeletons hanging around up here. I need to shoot these. I haven't played this one in free play mode. I don't think. That's why there's no collectibles. I would like to see in Lego games more connection to actual Lego sets. If I wanted to get the Lord of the Rings Lego sets, or even know what they were, this game helps you in no way. Now, I can see the parents' argument that they don't want the game that they spent $60 to then turn around and just be an advertisement to spend potentially hundreds of more dollars. He has like roller skates on his leg. Oh, I forgot this. I'm sorry, I made this complaint and I forgot. I turned on the boss disguises. Yeah, he looks perfectly fine normally. Sorry. Boss disguises makes it all colorful. Switch this guy to Gimli. A lot of the achievements, like throw Gimli 20 times or kill like 40 orcs with Legolas, seem like they would be really a lot, but if you go for all the achievements, you will run into those real quickly. Okay, so that's 3 of them. So I want to jump into the Berserker and break this anyway. Let's run around. So you need to pick up Sting and the Light. Looks like there's no items here in this first section. Here we go. Desperately need an ability to skip forward on all of this. Here's a great example of how Frodo in the story, I mean, if the story's to be believed, he gets caught by this spider and Sam has to save him. Sam is the real hero. What would be appropriate if I was writing the story is I would say, alright, let's have Sam do nothing and be let's have Frodo do nothing and be useless for maybe half of the first book, you're going to do a trilogy of books or more, and then kill him off and change perspective, make him the reason why Sam becomes the hero. Or you could do it the other way. You could have Frodo be useless the first half of the book, and then have Sam die and motivate Frodo to be more useful. But he is pretty much useless the entire story. And I don't think that's just in the video game. I think that's the story. Keep shooting spider webs here on the weapons. One more time. Take out the spider. Look how the cutscene is totally out of line. I mean, honestly, if you can't get it so it looks right, just show a pre-rendered cutscene. Sure, we wouldn't get these cool roller skates and such, but we don't get any of that. Well, we do, actually. I wonder how they did that. Maybe they just re-rendered.
Killed another one, has she?
That is actually very confusing. How can...
This fellow ain't dead.
Why do they go to cutscene and still it's all an engine? Or maybe some of it's an engine and maybe a lot of it isn't. I don't know. Well, I don't need to sit here and do this. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do. Now to move forward, we use the rope and pull that chandelier on the orc there. But before we do that, I want to clean out this room. Make sure I've got all the items. Look up, look down, make sure there's nothing over here. Switch over to this guy, Gimli. Switch to Sam. Hopefully that is all I needed to do for that section. Seems like it. See, this feels like a gag. Just killed one of them through the wall. Not sure anything like that actually happened in the story. Let's climb up, just to make sure. Break everything. Switch back to Frodo. Pick up this. Just that system alone is so weird. You pick up an item, then you have to decide where you're going to place it, as if where you placed it was an important decision, but it isn't. It doesn't matter one bit. Sometimes you can place items on other items. That's an interesting concept that's only used a few times. Well, he can't grab it because he's holding the bomb, I would bet. Something off screen there. next section. Jump from this point. These little leaves don't really help that much. And that moves us into this next section, so hopefully I didn't miss something there. No, it didn't quite move us into this section. I think we'll get down here. Now I need to switch back to little silver mini fridges. As an item. Barrel is taking forever to break. There's a collectible in there. Or they plan for a collectible to be in there. But it simply isn't. Now let's switch to normal. Let's pick up this. So we got a fish, a tomato, and we'll have a fry to put them all together in the fire. This is the same cooking puzzle that we've done 2 times before. This guy. Now, Sam, take this down, take this, stick it in there. And only Sam can do this. Take this, stick it in there, and then I need to take the fish and drop it by tapping B, and pick it up again, stick it in there, and then put some firewood in here, put some firewood in here. What's the rest of the firewood? I'm not holding any of it. And I'm not holding any of it. Oh, you know what it is? It's these lanterns. Pick that up. Pick this up. I don't even think you can combine the firewood. It's a way too complicated puzzle. It has too many elements. I would have split this puzzle in half and used it half the time to where there would already be a fire, and half the time there would already be a complete meal. So this guy's got the chef's hat item. There we go. That's one item down. What did we want? One more. Is there any more in this section? If I come back up here, look around, is there a reason to like go all the way back to the top? Doesn't feel like it. Well, hopefully we've gotten everything. Let's move into the next scene. From this scene, we are stuck. We learn they need to disguise us to escape. It's actually very childish writing here. here I am, somebody who's never written anything of note in their life, and I'm gonna say J.R. Tolkien's masterpiece of the Lord of the Rings sounds like childish writing, but it really does. And maybe this story is for kids, and maybe that's why, maybe that was his goal, but they needed a disguise, so we're gonna have an entire sequence in which they have to get disguised. They fight a giant spider. Those giant spiders are cool. They fight a giant eye. Alright, so there's spiders here that we need to shoot too. And then we need the fish. So, not change character, but pick up our mithril fishing rod. This thing is almost completely done. You get the rotten drumstick treasure. Interesting. So something is actually odd here, because here's the hat that we just picked up. Here's a hammer that we need to pick up. Here's boots that we just haven't crafted yet. And those are made of mithril. And then this is the drumstick. So the hammer is the last thing we're looking for. Right, good to know. It sure is easier to find what you're supposed to shoot at. Like the spiders here, there's no way you would find those without the indicators. And yet there's 3 other objects that are like this. I imagine this is going to be the hammer right here. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now we just need to get the collectibles, the gold chest. Go ahead and grab this while we're here. Switch over to the bomb again. Okay, this takes us to a whole different section. And this is a kind of like tower defense maze that we wouldn't have even been able to see. What in the world? The video graphics are just glitching out like crazy. That's a new one. That's a new one. So they automatically switched me to who I needed to be, just to make it clear what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, and since this is like free play mode, doesn't that also mean I have no reason to get rid of these statues? They have these question marks above their heads. What are these moving boxes? Well, they're not what they told us to look for, so no alarms raised. And that one can't be broken. Let's see, are these boss disguises? Is that what I've... Nope. This is straight up just how they're doing it. Because because they want to reference Solid Snake and Metal Gear Solid, a series I've not played and I'm kind of a little uninterested in playing, since you kind of know that the world is never going to get any more added to it. Plus the story seems to be super long and the gameplay mostly repetitive. I am not certain why I needed to do that. Really not certain. It seems like you'd be able to... Oh, maybe because you need to pick up the key, and then you can't pick up the key while you're invisible. Maybe that's the trick. Pick up the key, like put it in your pocket, and then you're invisible. It makes no sense at all. Oh well, I suppose they wanted us to do it, so might as well do it. Start fires, pull these. This certainly should have been something that you had to do in the story, main story. So often in Lego games you'll run into these extra sections and you'll think to yourself, there's a percentage of players that won't bother ever playing that section because they just don't want to do the free play collectibles stuff. And for them, they are missing out on that content, which can often be way too much. And there's no excuse here. There should be like no secret areas at all. If I was the manager, I would have said, look, this game is too short already. The levels are only taking 40 minutes to get through because we've stretched things out and cheated in every way possible. Just put the extra stuff in the main stuff. Let's try to make this game the best experience for every player, not just the players that are going to stick through it to free play. I'm pretty much recommending, if you've gone through my series, you've seen it too. It's like, this is the one Lego game I'd say don't play. Not if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, not if you're a fan of Legos, not if you're a fan of these games, Lego games. And I'm a fan of Lego games, I like them. But this one's bad. Now, on the scale of bad games, I suppose you can make the argument it's not up there with terrible games in general. It's still a mostly working product. So that's what happens. The gate shuts when you get spotted. Okay, whatever. But none of that matters. I can just walk out here. Perfectly fine. Well, it would have mattered, I suppose, on the setup. There's no spider we would have never found. I did see one of these spiders and thought, oh, that's a cool design. Not realizing it was something we needed to destroy. I don't think you could have destroyed it without the elf anyways. spider behind it. Okay. You have to wait till they draw the Lego thing. That's a weird mix of reality and non-reality in the aspect. Where is this piece? It's like way up there. How in the world? How in the world am I supposed to get up there? And then there's one right there. Let's push this way. Can't. There's more to it, I think. Have to break this here. Can't push that forward. Can't push that forward. I think I have to go in order. Place here. Switch to this guy, burn this. This level in particular is a little bit off from the rest of them, since it's not really that focused on you walking to from a start point to an end point as much as it is focused on you collecting items. So a little bit of a change up, but only in a couple of places is that the case. Almost every other level it's just getting from one to the other. I understand that that is a significant portion, if not all, of what the Lord of the Rings story is walking slowly to Mordor. But a game cannot be that repetitive. It cannot be that ununique. Pick that up. Switch to Gimli. Common problem with Lego games is persistent here too, of just a scenario where you only need like one character and the only one character will progress. Honestly, either way you do it, it's a little odd, because if you have 5 characters that have the same ability, I won't recognize that the other characters have that same ability. If you have... Alright. So, we have a minute to hit 20 of those. This is a very strange... 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 30 seconds to do 10. This is not going great. So you can see why this area is so big for this gag. You have to ask yourself, was the gag made in the area, or was the area made in the gag? I've never seen this in a I've never seen in a Lego game a Lego level anything close to 20 in a minute. Usually it stops at 10 in a minute. Let's break this. Punch this. We have all the items, right? And we have only one more thing we need to get. We know where it is, so honestly being over here and punching these things is just wasting time. I really wish I could have liked this game too. It's, I mean, I'm literally gonna go record Shadow of Mordor after this, and I played this game to learn the story of Lord of the Rings, and I really don't feel like I did that. Shadow of Mordor is probably going to be a pretty antiseptic entry for me. Hopefully I'll get into it more, and I think a lot of people probably did. Because I'm definitely going in now, not as a fan of Lord of the Rings, kind of dislike it. And on top of that, still kind of don't know the story, still don't really know how the world works that much. There's definitely a lack of things that would pull me into this world. Now I need to play as Aragorn. Where is Aragorn? No, Sauron would work. I wouldn't mind seeing Sauron's tale if somebody was to try to write a fan fiction or something like that. But I don't think they would allow it. The owners of the copyright of the Lord of the Tales, Lord of the Rings. I know the Hobbit sort of is a little bit about that, I think. So now I need to play as this guy. I think I have one of the elements there to something, but I need to get the other element. Well, either way, there's no point in going further in this level after I've collected everything. We'll just save and continue, and then we just need to turn in the quests, and then we'll be done. I don't even think I'm gonna bother playing credits here. I sat through most of the credits through the first things. Oh yeah, let's talk about the credits for a second. This game literally went to credits with no indication at all that there was any more game. I thought for a second I had made the mistake and only bought the first third of the Lord of the Rings series. And I was about to rage quit. Just totally rage quit. Unlike Lego Star Wars, unlike so many other games where there's a clear hub that you've seen several times that show you, no, the whole game is here. I thought, uh-oh, it just ended. It just ended and went to credits. And unacceptable way of presenting things. Really, really frustrating. So I guess that was supposed to be the spider, who has a name, I know. So 1, 2. So we've got some quests we need to turn in first to get the mithril to go to the blacksmith, to then do craft some stuff. So I have the chef's hat, which is here. Let's travel here. The map is decent enough here. The overworld has some major problems in level design. It has some major problems in not really having any items in it. Here, finally, we can see the quest indicator is only pointing to one thing at the very end when there's only one thing left. Otherwise, for 90% of the game, it was just pointing you into multitudes of different directions.
Give it to me!
So you may have been at the Shire on the far left of the map, and it would still be pointing to something in Mordor. Like, it probably not that far, but pretty close to that. Let's see. This has the one quest, which is these mithril boots. So I can't turn those in. This quests are done. This one didn't have any quests. These quests are done. 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 This one, the pass here is the last one we need to turn in, I think. And we'll just fast travel there. Where are we in the game? We're at 98.9% done. Here's a great example of the open world just transitioning poorly and not rendering very well. You go from a mountain area to a snow area in less than a few steps. It's very noticeable. The music changes to make it more noticeable. So instead of making it feel like a real world where there would be some slight connection, it's just not. So what I imagine the case is that we do have Lego the Hobbit to play. So I'm not going to play it right now, but it almost certainly is the next Lego game in this series. So I'll take a break from recording it. I'll try to have some buffer after I play Shadows of Mordor, and then I'll play some other games that aren't Lord of the Rings related at all, and then probably coming right back to Lego the Hobbit. And I hope that is the resurrection. I hope we have a Lego Batman 1 versus Lego Batman 2 situation, because that was very much the case. Lego Batman 1 was absolute garbage as far as the Lego game, but then Lego Batman 2 is great. Lego Batman 3 is even better. They all have some issues still, but overall they're some of the best Lego games out there. Well, I just said Lego Batman is garbage and it's some of the best again. When combined, they average together, I would say. So this might be strange. I may end up with a few extra mithril bricks. Let's craft these boots, and then we're gonna craft the other thing, which we have 16 mithril bricks, which is exactly what we need to craft the final object. Only one of those is actually a quest-related mithril object, though. The thing I just crafted, these, what are these? I think they're called spike boots, so you stick to walls maybe? We'll try them out. Each of these mithril items, and items in general, had something interesting to them, but mithril climbing boots. So they might stick you to a wall. That would be really interesting if you could get over things you weren't supposed to get over, but I bet you can't. They take too much effort in making video games, so you can't do things like that, so you're not stuck in areas. So now I'm down to exactly 0, and I'm sure they calculated that out. You have to do everything. I don't think this is a good way to do games for kids either. Honestly, I don't think 100% should be the goal for kids. I think there should be somewhere closer to 120% of all collectibles in the game, and if you collect more, good for you. But and certainly that is just a numbers game. You could also say maybe the achievement shouldn't be, instead of getting 100%, the achievement should only require 80%. I've seen a lot of achievements like that. In general, okay, so we get the blacksmith is the character, one of them. We get it. So let's try these boots out. We get the blacksmith character, but with mithril spring boots, that's supposed to help you jump. Mithril climbing boots. What would they help with? They don't seem like they're helping with anything. Let's see, go to like this section. No, you can't climb up these any easier. No surprise there. So it doesn't seem like the mithril climbing boots do anything, but they probably do. It's just too subtle for me to recognize. Let's go ahead and turn this in, and this, I think, is it. You see this one red arrow. He is up there. Need to switch to Legolas. Legolas, by the way, I guess I never mentioned it, is the name. It is possible, certainly, that J.R. Tolkien named him Legolas after the kit toys, because I'm sure the Legos were in existence, although maybe not as popular then. But it is also just as likely it's just one of the many made-up words he made in this game.
I'll take that.
So there's a red brick for 8-bit music. Let's turn that on. Let's see what that is. And so we get Lurtz the Newborn, which means we now have 100% of everything. 8-bit music, I've never heard of this. Does the 8-bit music change in different areas? So, generally when you have 100%, there's something you get. Some little reward of a fountain that gives you like ridiculous amounts of studs falling from the sky. I don't know where that would be. The only thing I could think is if it is supposed to be somewhere, it is... Yeah, I didn't want that. Like, if studs were falling from the sky from this tower, that would be cool. But I imagine it would either be Rivendell or Hobbiton. There's just like no central location in this area, in this map. You'd think Bree was the central location because it has the blacksmith in it. Is there anything special happening here? Doesn't look like it. I'm up to 15 billion, so I was wrong. I was by far very wrong. I don't have any mithril bricks. We can see we've got all 180 and spent all 150. And everything, every single bit is at 100. So the last thing I would think is Hobbiton, where we started. That there would be something. What's this?
Tell me again, lad. Where are we going?
To the harbour, Bilbo. The elves have accorded you a special honor. A place on the last ship to leave Middle-earth.
So you can leave Middle-earth. There is a place, an Eastern Earth and a Western Earth.
I'm quite ready for another adventure.
So there could even be like a sequel. Are there books after The Lord of the Rings? That are set after that? Not The Hobbit. The Hobbit's a prequel, I know that.
It is time, Frodo.
Time what? We're going for another adventure to help Bilbo do what?
Frodo, any chance of seeing that old ring of mine again?
So I assume he was driven mad with the ring and they're trying to fix his brain? Make him sane again? Alright, well, that was Lego Lord of the Rings. I'll use the pun yet again, an unexpected journey of pain. I am kind of intrigued on the thought of there being more story, but I don't believe there is. I don't think they're gonna come out with a sequel to the movies. I don't think they can get away with it. Let's go ahead and hit the button. I'm not gonna even bother sitting here looking at the credits. Some real misplacements. The load screens. Let's talk about the load screens for a second. Very, very strange that the load screen changes to 3 different loads screens once you have a save file, when any one of them would work perfectly fine. And so this thing didn't even point us to this. Like on the map, there's no indicator. It just says Bag End, and I think Bag End is the name of the house. And here's another area that would have easily been a hub area, and you can't even do anything with it. You can't even break things in here. There was one character in there to buy, and then the customizer, it asks you if you want to go into the customizer. For some reason, nowhere else in the Lego game does it ask that. Custom characters are almost always useless. It asks you if you want to leave the customizer. That makes no sense either. It's just, it really feels like a new team was put in charge of this game and they did a poor job. But we got the Lego Hobbit here. I never really thought I was gonna hit a point where I'd say don't play a Lego game. For all their flaws, which every Lego game has a mixed bag of mostly good stuff and a few new concepts, and some of those new concepts fall flat and add some problems. But this one is the first one where I say, oh, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. I hate to say that too. This is probably one of the worst reviews I've done because of my flaws and because of just the content. I don't have anything more to say. I mean, how can you say any more? I got all the achievements. That's something. I'm obsessed with achievements. But I wouldn't even recommend playing the game for that. It's not like that would be an easy task. It would be 30 hours or at least 20 playing everything with collectibles. As always, I end my episodes the same way. I ask you to like this series, like this episode, uh, share it with your friends, give them fair warning, I guess, in this case. Uh, Comment if you want to. Let me know down below if I'm just way off here. Uh, if I just missed something about the Lord of the Rings story, which I don't really like, or from what I got from this game, I don't like it. I've never read the books or watched the movies, which is an important thing for me to point out. I mean, I didn't sit through the movies. I should have done that research, but 9 hours of movies is too much for me. And I didn't read the books because that's even more time I don't have. But playing this like a kid who has never read the movies or books, I didn't like the story from how I got it from this game. I don't think a kid would like the story as how they got it from the game. Uh, but yeah, let me know in the comments if I'm just totally wrong. And I ask you to watch every second of my videos because that tells YouTube that my videos are good and worth watching. And then if you want to support me even further, because this was a hard job, a long job too. Usually it's not difficult to record these series. This one was kind of hard. Hard on me emotionally. You can click on my name Rydo. That will take you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button. It says support this channel. You can click that and make a donation. Also on my main YouTube page is the playlist tab, so you can see a playlist for every game I've covered. Watch them in order. Watch them straight through. A lot of Lego games there. A lot of better Lego games there. A lot of other games there. I don't just do Lego. I do all ages, all types of games, or at least a variety of types of games. And then finally, down below in the description box, I have links to my social media, so please follow and friend me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Tumblr. You can also friend me on Steam, and you can also friend me on Battle.net, and I want to grow friends and followers on all of those services. Also, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook or something, you see right when the new videos come out. Thank you for going through this journey with me. It's been a long one. I won't use the pun again. I've used it like 3 times already. It's been a real long one. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.